Hey guys, it's Masatonic. I'm bilingual Harukist. 皆さん、こんにちは。バイリンガルハルキストのマサトニックです。Haruki Murakami, book guide, short story 45, Men Without Women. So in this video, I'd like to talk about Murakami's very interesting and very deep Murakami's world, which is described in this short story, Men Without Women. Actually, it's kind of complicated because the short story collection title is Men Without Women, and also the short story itself title is Men Without Women as well. So just get started. As always, this video consists of 3 parts. First, overview, second, story, and third, deep reading or reading tips from me. So first, overview. Like I said, this story is contained in the short story collection, which is named Men Without Women, and it is published in 2017 May in the English market. In Japan, about a few years ago, I believe 2014, it has already published. And as you might know, this title is same as one of Hemingway's short story collection, I think. So, but it's a Murakami's version, Men Without Women. So in Japanese, original title is Onna no inai otokotachi. Yes, and and also this short story itself is written for this short story collection. Other stories contained in the Men Without Women, like Drive My Car or Yesterday or Scheherazade, is basically before publishing short story collection. It's contained in the other literary magazine, but this one is written for this short story collection. So-called in Japanese, we can say kaki oroshi. So yes, and also this is how to say, it's hard to put it, but it's not an ordinary style of a novel or short story. Much more, how to say, very imaginary or something memoir or essay-like taste, I believe. But it's really, like I said, very Murakami's own world, and Murakami's deep world, I could say. So if you are really like Murakami's style or really interested in Murakami's world, this is a work you should read. So what kind of story? Let's take a look at it. But like I said, it's something not like an ordinary meaning of story, because when I talk about story, it's very simple. Narrator got a phone call from an unknown person about sentence of news, a sentence or news of death, and that's it. That's the only kind of, how to say, only things happened or occurred in this short story. After that, it's all thinking or thoughts or kind of memory about that that dead person. And then yes, all right. Let's begin with the narrator is something like Murakami, like a character, and so there's told in the first person singular, so I, or in Japanese boku, and one midnight, he got a phone call from an unknown person, unknown man, and that guy said this. His wife had been dead. She had been she had killed herself. In other ways, suicide. And then he only told the narrator that fact, and then hung up. And then narrator is very surprised that the person who had been killed herself is somebody used to be very close, or he could say kind of ex-lover of the narrator. But a few years ago, they how to say, they left, and after that, never been in contact with each other. And the next time he heard her name, she already killed by herself. saw such a surprising and shocking event, and he even know after their depart, she had been married, and so in a way, narrator didn't know about that guy, and that guy even didn't mention about his own name. So unknown person, some mysterious guy. And after that, from this, this how to say story is basically only taking place in narrator's mind. That's basically told he told or described about memory of this ex-lover's story, and then ex-lover's name itself didn't describe it in the story, so but instead he called her as M, this one characteristic M, but I'm not sure what this M means for. Some initial, maybe it's not initial of her own, just called M. And all right, anyway, so there he talked about M's memory. And one thing really interesting is maybe their relationship is after growing up, but he could think their relationship not just such a matured person, but much more immature person's kind of first love, something like in their adolescent days. Say in this story, he described their relationship is something like a 14 years old, some first love like things. We should have met with each other as a 14 years old. So something like that. It's really kind of how to say funny way of recalling. And after that, his description much more how to say turned into a dreaming or kind of imaginary world. Especially one image of is characteristic is image of sailor. Sailor is kind of the really interesting way he used this word sailor. Sailor is somebody who how to say treat M and take her to anywhere from how to say narrated side or some bright side or good side of the world, and from that world to somewhere exotic or somewhere unknown places, sailor took M to that kind of outer world. That kind of existence or character, it's sailor. And then it's really Murakami like this sailor and anti-sailor is also such a concept he could mention about. And yeah, something like that, a memory of M and the image of sailor has been told in many ways, in various ways. It's not a long story, it's just a short story, but still, it's not something like super short. It's about, I don't know, several, I don't know, 30 or 40 pages, I think. And so in various ways, narrator told these kind of story things. And finally, he mentioned about men without women. In a way, due to M's suicide, narrator is actually already got married, and he just sleep with his wife, but still with how to say with loss of M, he had become a man without women, and also the such a mysterious guy of its called to narrator is also a man without women. So narrator mentioned about how men become ordinary men to the men without women is, or finally he described, and then our story or this work has been ended. That kind of story. Do you interested in, or just how to say at a loss of word? Maybe it kind of very how to say hard to get it, but this story or these sentences in Murakami's way, where once described in Murakami's way, it's really, really interesting, very Murakami-like word you can find there. So if you're interested, then please take a look at. So how should we enjoy it? Deep reading. First, my suggestion is let's listen a summer praise. Summer praise is something like a background music of the in this work. It's described as elevator music. It's something like when you get into the elevator and say somewhere department or some hotel, and some music had turned on. That kind of music very, how to say, melodic and then very, how to say, harmless, and or to some person it's really boring. It's a kind of very opposite type of music, rock and roll or hip hop, but it's kind of easy listening type of music. But the M described in this story is really like these kind of music. And one of her favorite is a summer praise. And in Japanese, this music has another title, 夏の思い出。So, 夏の思い出 something. Oh, I forgot. Let me check. The Japanese title something sometimes has a very different. Oh, okay. Summer praise Japanese title is 夏の日の恋. Yes, yeah, kind of interpretation with some interpretation. Anyway, so let's listen to summer praise, and you can feel with 5 senses. And also, let's think about all around the port town. Like I said in this work, there's a lot of sailors image has been described. And with sailors image, also narrator or Murakami described some many places of port town, like in the Middle East or some somewhere in Europe or Africa. So there actually some of Murakami's work stage is not just Japan, but sometimes took place in some European or in America. But like this, how to say, all around a port town described it too. I think it's kind of very unusual case. So in a way, I could enjoy some exotic sense of it from it. So anyway, let's think about or Google it. Such kind of these port town under this pandemic situation. It's hard to travel around the world. So when just try to search and feel the sense of travel or journey is kind of interesting way to read deeply. And also, let's think about men without women in Japanese, 女のいない男たち. The one thing really interesting is, like I mentioned, the narrator got married and her wife still exists. She had lived very lively, but still narrator thinks he is belong to a region of men without women. So that kind of interesting. So what do you think about that concept of men without women? Let's think about it. And I just wondering from women's point of view, how reader can enjoy this story is kind of very curious. Or and also from the LGBTQ's point of view, basically a man without women kind of very old-fashioned way to describe a human race is men and women. It's just kind of two, it's not like that, right? There are other, how to say, gender is, it's there. So from that kind of point of view, how do you feel this concept of men without women? I'm just curious and I just wondering about it. So something like that. If you have any comments, please feel free to put a comment on this section. Right, then that's all. Thank you for watching. And this kind of video, I'll post it 2 to 3 video per week. So I hope this video might help you to interested in Murakami's very interesting book. Yeah, thank you. And also I'm appreciate if you subscribe my channel. So let's see next video. Until then, see you. Bye.